sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant, prends mon whisky quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris, mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash. Ça plane pour moi.
That was Ça plane pour moi by Waqattack. You guys are listening to Waqattack. I'm your host, Chaudhry Waqas, welcoming you to another edition of the show. Now, this is a 1-hour comedy / parody show expressing my own views, not intended to offend or influence anyone, but just to have some cracking bit of banter to brighten up your day. Now, it's a lovely sunny Thursday afternoon today. The sun is shining, the wind is winding, and the people are smiling. And let's get the people smiling more by digging deep into our news stories of the day. And we're going to start off with a very feel-good news story where a 99-year-old woman has just gotten arrested as part of her bucket list. Now, a 99-year-old woman in the Netherlands decided that she didn't want to die without getting in the Dutch, the slammer, the jail, or become orange is the new black. So, her niece got her arrested as a little birthday present. The woman, who goes by her name Annie, like Beyonce or Cher because she's cool like that, told her niece that getting jailed and booked was something she has always wanted to do, but never had the opportunity to do so. Now, this grandma sounds like she has listened to too many NWA albums and wants to get a piece of that gangsta life. Anyway, her niece kindly called up the police in Nijmegen Zui, which, side note, is frankly the most Asian-sounding un-Asian city I've ever heard of, as it's actually a city in Germany near the border. And so she explained her aunt's unusual request. Now, the police were happy to oblige and drove to Annie's home last week, where they picked her up, put her in the police car, and drove her straight to the slammer. Now, Annie was only behind bars for a few minutes, but enjoyed the bejesus out of the experience. And the police actually uploaded pictures of what went down, and if you see them, you think she actually went to like an Elvis Presley concert and got a hunka burnin' love. But at the end of the day, she actually just went to prison. However, one thing to note is that we shouldn't expect the police to be as accommodating for other people with similar desires to be locked up behind bars. So if you have any prison fetishes, please keep them away from the officers of the law. Because the police were like, we don't usually do this, but we made an exception for Annie. It was just a couple of minutes in the cell. It was all about the experience. Now, we don't know why it was on her bucket list. And to that I say, neither do I, good sir, neither do I know why a 99-year-old woman will want to be behind bars. It's one of those things you just gotta accept. Now, our next story involves balls, but not the sweet and sour kind. Cause a kung fu master with an iron crutch has just become one of the most ballsiest martial artists in the world. Now, there might be better martial artists than Master Wei Yaobin, but few are ballsier. Now, where other fighters take it on the chin, he hits it in the crutch repeatedly. Now, Master Wei is considered one of the world's best practitioners of iron crutch kung fu. Now, it's a relatively obscure form of martial arts in which fighters learn to build strength and endurance by subjecting themselves to strong blows in the groin area. Now, Master Wei, the man with the iron crutch, which is such a cool name to have. I mean, you can have your Iron Man, you can have your Thors, but man with the iron crutch, that's just amazing. And he is the lord of groinal pain, and he stated, I have learned this kung fu skill since I turned 67 years old. He says, I think it's good for my health, as he repeatedly whacks a brick upon his pelvic region. But in all seriousness and skepticism aside, this supposedly cures erectile dysfunction, but I wouldn't recommend carrying this out because you might not even have a functioning erectile after the many beatings you have endured from the concretes. Now, Master Wei has been practicing his ball-bashing form of martial arts for over 10 years in the city of Luoyang. He says, I insist on doing it every day. I believe it builds up resistance, and he says he's gotten less fever and colds than ever before. So, kids, you leave the lemsip, leave all the Benylin cough syrups because you just gotta whack your own nuts. That's all you gotta do to cure your cold, according to this Mr. Master Wei. Now, getting smacked in the crotch usually makes guys very testy, but the master claims it helps men overcome issues such as the one we discussed of the whole dysfunction issue. But it is to note that there is no scientific evidence behind this theory. More and more people are actually opening up to the idea, and Master says that Iron Crutch Kung Fu is the next big thing. He says more and more masters are opening studios to teach it and attracting an increasing number of people to learn it. It really makes you think, doesn't it? That we currently live in a world where people actually have to whack their own genitalia with concrete just to feel some form of comfort. Now, our final story comes to us from a country that embraces slurping ramen, embraces anime, and openly holds large-scale penis festivals. That is true. This is none other than Japan, where Japanese bald men are celebrated with a cue ball competition. Now, more than 30 bald men gathered at a hot spring facility in Suzuruta City in Japan this Wednesday to show off their hairless heads and have some fun. Now, a member of the city's Bald Men Club took turns in competing in a unique game of tug of war by sticking a suction cup, which is attached to a single red rope to each of their heads. Both sides then attempt to pull the cup off the opponent's head. 43-year-old bald man and all-around top lad Toyoshika Ogasawara said, "My head still hurts. I think I need to ice it." Now, Matsuma Sasaki, a first-time participant at the tournament, says he used to feel insecure about his baldness, but now he feels differently, saying, "I feel proud," and he says, "I feel good about being a bald man," and that is all thanks to the Bald Man's Club. Now, this club has roughly attracted 65 members from all over the country since its founding in 1989. Now, it encourages people to view baldness in a positive manner, to have fun, and to brighten the world with our shiny heads. This is a lovely message that we should all follow. Positive. It's a positive message. Now, the club's chairman hopes the gathering will turn into something much, much larger. He says he wants bald men from all over the world to gather here so they can organize a bald men's Olympic tournament. The event is held every year at the end of February. Now, I can't help but think that in order to be part of such a prestigious club as the Bald Man's Club, one must invest a lot of income in the form of membership fees. Whereas that money could easily be directed towards getting a hair transplant. I'm just saying, if you really don't want that bald head, hair transplant. Just saying. So, moral of the story is, just because you go bald does not mean you should be appalled, but instead heed the call of becoming a legendary human cue ball. I believe that was the great Mark Twain who said that. For he too faced balding issues. Now, please don't fact check that because I have no idea if he was actually bald or not, but sounds like something Mark Twain would say. So that was our news stories of the day. When we come back, we're going to be talking to a redneck, and we're going to have a redneck conversation with our friend down in North Dakota called Trace, and we're going to debunk some science, y'all. Last time he debunked global warming, and today we're going to debunk the bejesus out of science. Next up, we're going to play some cracking tracks that you can shimmy to whilst you're driving on a sunny Surrey/London road. This is Shimmy Shimmy Ya by Prince Fatty and Horseman. Enjoy.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy ya. Shimmy, 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 yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy ya.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
That was Chris Cagle with Let There Be Cowgirls Oh boy, that is a bangin' country track that is filled with the basic country instruments that you expect to have in a country song. We have the fiddle, we have the guitar, and of course, we have that twangy country voice. Ooh, that was a good song. Now, we just finished our news stories, and you're listening to Waqattack, which again is a 1 hour comedy / parody show, which is filled with my opinions and influences that is meant to just engage in banterous conversation and not to offend or do anything to anyone. Just have a nice, lovely bit of chit chat. And speaking of chit chat, we're going to be chit chatting with our homie in North Dakota by the name of Trace. We're going to having a redneck conversation about science. Last time he came here, he debunked global warming, claiming it is fake news. Let's see what he has to say about science today. So, hello Trace, how are you doing? Howdy my friend, it's a very cold day here down in North Dakota, and you made me wake up very early for this, so this better be good. Yes, we're gonna have some amazing conversation, Trace. Sad to see it's quite cold there. It's quite warm over here. Well, nice to rub it right in my face, my friend, but carry on. What are we going to be talking about today? Today, we're going to be talking about science, la science. And the first thing we're going to be discussing is your thoughts on evolution. So evolution is basically the idea that over time, species adapt to their environments, and the ones who are best adapted can then pass on their genetics, and so on and so forth, and you get new things forming. What are your thoughts on that? My friend, I don't believe in no evolution. I believe that is the devil's work, and it is something that y'all should be appalled by even talking about. Now, there's only one scientific book I like to read, and that's called the Old Testament. Now, in that, there ain't no mentions about humans coming from monkeys. Now, let me ask you this. I mean, you blindly just accept this science thing. Let me stop you right there, Trace. We don't blindly accept science. In science, what they do is that they have multiple hypotheses, and then they test it, and then if it's right, then only then can they actually think of it as a theory. If not, then they rebut it. And Charles Darwin, when he came up with evolution, was heavily criticized, and to the point where he didn't even go to church anymore. It's quite sad. Yeah, he didn't belong in church, my friend. If you're telling me that I came from a monkey, I came from a woman born in West Virginia. Ain't no way in hell was I born from a monkey. I mean, I'm as hairless as they go. Comparing me to a monkey is like comparing a rhino to a tree. I mean, are we really the same thing? It's just crazy even how someone would even think about that. Technically, aren't we all just one thing? Like, at the end of the day, we're all made of star stuff, so we're basically trees, aren't we? Now, you're beginning to sound like a hippie, my friend. What are you saying, that I'm related to a tree? I mean, I love Guardians of the Galaxies, but I ain't no Groot, my friend. There ain't no wooden barks growing from my chest or any part of my body. Nor do I repeat the word I am Groot because I can't speak the English language. Alright, so you don't believe in evolution because you don't believe that humans come from monkeys. Is that it? Is that the only reason? I mean, yeah, that's the only reason. Well, okay, now you try to convince me otherwise, my friend. Tell me about, like, how Adam and Eve, how that ain't... Because, tell me, to a man, you tell me Adam and Eve, they're two human beings, and we came from them. To me, that sounds plausible. Now, when you say that Adam came from King Kong and George of the Jungle, now, I don't believe that because it doesn't sound plausible to me. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. But okay. So one thing is, what about dinosaurs? They're kind of like signs of evolution, aren't they? My friend, dinosaurs are just bones in the ground that the science people put down there to distract us from the actual problems that we've got going in the world today. For example, about how people are being ruled by them lizard peoples. we're not gonna. We already had this conversation. We're not gonna get in to lizard people right now. We're gonna be talking about something else. Okay, what about your thoughts on computers? Now they're an amazing technology, don't you think? Because you say science is fake and global warming is fake, but computers came because of science. Don't you think they're a fascinating piece of kit? Now, computers, see, Lord knows how they work, because I don't know which gentleman was sitting on his stool one day and decided, you know what, I'm gonna take I wanna watch something on a square device. Now, even device, what was a device back in the day? The only thing they had back in the day was a wooden stick and a barrel where they could churn some butter. At least that's what they did back in the farm. Now, you telling me that a guy just sitting down there just comes up with the idea that we gotta take silicone and then we gotta put it in a machine and then we gotta make things come out of it. Now, I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think that humans came up with this, my friend. I think aliens were the ones that actually came up with this, because to me, the idea of a computer is mind-boggling. Although I know how to use my Gmails and my Facebooks, it just seems like an extraordinary thing for a human to conceive, isn't it? You're really not giving the human brain a lot of credit here. I mean, we've come up with some revolutionary technologies, and you're saying aliens are the ones that are doing this. I'm just saying that what happened in Roswell in 1947 could be linked to this. I mean, okay, Roswell, we're going to be continuing with the space theme when we get back. We're going to continue our redneck conversation, discussing other topics and debunking some more science, y'all. But next up, we're going to have some more cruising tracks for you. First off, we're going to start off with a little chill song from the American Pie series. Oh, these are some of the most funniest movies you can see. It's about college life and also about marriage and other stuff as you get older. So this is Matt Nathanson, and he's going to tell us about getting laid.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
It was a beautiful day, sun beat down, I had the radio on, I was driving.
Did y'all feel that record? I sure did. That was Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Oh my god. That has to be one of the most bestest musics to just cruise to on a lovely Sunday afternoon. The sounds of the guitar just influencing your wavely motions in your head. Now, y'all are listening to Waqattack, a 1-hour comedy/parody show in which I express my opinions and things to influence banter upon y'all, the viewers. Now, we were talking to Trace, our correspondent in North Dakota. We were having a redneck conversation about different scientific discoveries, and we're debunking them one by one. So we just debunked evolution, and we just debunked what did we debunk? We debunked evolution and how aliens made computers. Now, Trace, do you have anything else to say? Yeah, we were talking about aliens, which is a fascinating topic. I love aliens. I find that there's a lot of fake news that's being spread around a lot these days, but there's one channel that never lies to you. It's the History Channel. Now, whenever I turn on the History Channel, I'm influenced and I see all the great stuff that's going on. I mean, did you know that Adolf Hitler escaped all the way down to South America in one of them tunnels? Now that is fair. How did that man who's about to get shot? They say, see, that's the thing. You can't trust the history books. You can't trust what the media's telling you, because Adolf Hitler is living in South America right now. No one's doing anything about it. I mean, if they really cared, they'd have shot it down over there. Okay, see, the History Channel is not the best thing for, whatchamacallit, facts and stuff in terms of historical things. Like, for example, you said Adolf Hitler was found in South America. There's not many people would agree with you on that thing. And you said, well, what else do you watch that influences you on History Channel? I love me some Ancient Aliens. That show is like my brandy and my whiskey and my coconut butter because it is such a nice show. I mean, I just watch it and then I learn so much about our ancestry and how aliens made everything around us. We're talking the pyramids. Now you're telling me a bunch of half-nude Egyptian men came together to put blocks and turn it into a triangular shape. Now, I don't believe that hoo-ha. That thing is fake. I think aliens helped us with their machine doohickeys. Okay, so you hate everything that humans have done. You've debunked everything that humans have done. What do you actually believe? Like, what next thing you're gonna say that we didn't go on the moon? Well, we didn't go on the moon. Like, okay, I consider myself to be a proud American. I love my guns, I love my wife, I love my family, and I love my soldiers fighting the wars. But what I don't believe is that we went to the moon. Now you're telling me that back in 1960 hoo-ha, that John F. Kennedy, well, it was John F. Kennedy, put people on the moon. I don't believe that. You know why? I don't think we were technologically advanced to get to the moon at that point in time because the Russians couldn't do it and we couldn't do it. Now, I don't like the Russians. I hate the Ruskies as much as the next American. But what I'm trying to say is that if they couldn't do it, we couldn't do it. There's no way that, I mean, we had 11 Apollo, we had like, how many Apollo crashes we had? We had more Apollo crashes than what's his name? The guy who made Tesla, what's his name? I think his name is Elon Musk. Yeah, we've had more Apollo crashes than Elon Musk has had successful launches of his SpaceX program. See, I'm intact with the news. I know what's going on in the world. So you're saying we didn't go to the moon because we weren't technologically advanced enough? Absolutely, my friend. That is exactly what I'm saying. So is there any science you do believe in? Well, I believe in the science of God. I believe that everything comes to a closure, how we go to heaven and hell, and how you are most definitely going to hell for believing that we came from monkeys. God damn, that is the most absolutely dog-darn thing I've ever heard in my life. But in all honesty, I do like some forms of science. I do say so myself. I love playing some games. That's got some science in it, right? I mean, what kind of games do you like to play? I mean, I like playing Grand Theft Auto. That's real scientific, isn't it? We get to learn how to drive a 4x4 on a nice dusty road. That's not really science, but okay, so you like games. That's technically something that scientists made. Wait. You know how you said you debunked evolution, right? Let me bring you to this point. You own a farm, yes? Absolutely, that's what I do back up in North Dakota. We got a nice family ranch. We got heifers. We got cattle. We got the finest heifers you can find with the most purest brown fur you've ever seen. We breed them to the best of their potential. We milk them to the best of their potential. You know how we milk our cattle? We milk our cattle whilst they listen to Lionel Richie, Easy Like Sunday Morning. Because if the cow is easy like Sunday morning, the milk is going to taste good on Sunday morning, my friend. So, yes, I have a family ranch. We herd our cattle. We got a bunch of sheep and a bunch of horses, but we don't really use the horses except for horse racing purposes, but that's a separate business that I don't wish to talk to you because it's very secretive, and I can get a lot of trouble for saying that. All right, so you say you breed cattle. Now, breeding cattle, now you're kind of using science there because you're using evolution because you're choosing the best cattle are then going to reproduce and make the milk. So technically, you're using science. My friend, I am the one who selected the cattle because they are the ones who look good. Science didn't choose the cattle. I know you're the one who chose cattle, but that's the thing, that you chose the ones with the best things, and you made them breed. So you do believe that we've passed on good genetics into that the best adapted genetics are passed on to the next generation, which is science on a whole, my friend. You're telling me, okay, I don't believe that cattle with more milk and greater meat is an act of evolution. I think it is just an act of God. He just blesses me with the finest cattle that man can provide. So if any of y'all need cattle, I don't really import to the United Kingdom, but if y'all want to ever come down to North Dakota, just holler at me. My name is Trace, and I've got a little family ranch called Atkins Family Ranch. We got nice little cows, we got nice little buffaloes, we got nice little horses, and we got nice little sheep. Although the horses, you got to go through the black market region. Man, I'm not going to tell y'all how to do that because that's some secret stuff right there. Alright, thank you so much, Trace, for sparing your early morning time. Even though you're a farmer and have to get up early morning, but still complained about coming on the show. I could have been herding cattle, but instead I'm having this conversation with you, so you should be very thankful, my friend. Alright, no, I am very thankful. So thank you for talking to us and having a very redneck conversation where we debunked evolution, computers, man on the moon, and successful passing of genes into the next generation. Next up, I'm gonna play an artist that I absolutely adore and I can't get enough of, and I played his songs almost every week, apart from last week. This is Mr. Boombastic. This is Shaggy, and he's gonna take you for a ride with his single "Ready Feedy Ride." Enjoy, everybody.
Shaggy, pleasure. Mr. Lover, loving you hard. Put up your hand because you're ready for the ride. You want a man to point your heels to the sky. Run out a breath and break straight through the night. Galema.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
Are y'all having a good time? Because I sure am. That was Poison with Nothing But a Good Time. Oh, that is a smashing hit record. Now, you're listening to Waqattack, and we're nearing the end of the show where I give friendly shout-outs and also tell you a feel-good tip of the day to brighten up your day, something you can do to make you feel instantly happy. Well, this tip or trick is not an instant happiness, but once you get into it, it makes you feel good. So this tip or trick is cooking a tasty meal. Now, I know that people are busy these days. Time is money, and when you go to like Tesco, it's very easy to just pick up the ready-made meals instead of actually spending time on cooking. But let me tell you, once you chop those onions, once you make that gravy, once you cook the rice, you will feel the pleasures of home cooking, because we evolved that way. Humans, from the very first day when we found out what fire was, we were like, woo-hoo, let's use that to our advantage. And ever since then, we've been kind of psychologically wired to cook things. For example, meat, that was meat back in the day, but now we can put an omelet on the fry pan and that could count as a tasty meal. I mean, whatever tickles your fancy. You could have some Chinese, you could have some Indian, you could have some Malaysian, you could have whatever kind of food you want. So that's what you do, cook a tasty meal. That has to be tasty. You can't just make sushi or something if you don't like sushi, or make curry if you're extremely diarrhea prone person, but anything that can make you feel good. So for example, my go-to feel good dish is lamb curry. Now that takes a while, because what you gotta do is number one, making the sauce, that's not the problem. The problem is you gotta make the lamb as soft and chewy so it just melts into your mouth. Now that takes lamb, because lamb is quite a tough meat, and you gotta give it a little slap, a little bit of steam, a little bit of spice, a little bit of water and heat to kind of tenderize it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you gotta do. Lamb curry, that's my go-to meal, tasty meal to make me feel good. But yeah, prepare a tasty meal for yourself and even for other people, because sharing meals can lift up your spirits and it will make you feel even more nurturing because, you know, you're providing them for someone. If you ever see Planet Earth, you know how the male birds always grab the worm or the fish and they bring it back to the child and the mom, and they're all like, oh my god, thank you so much, you provide for the family, we will not like cheat on you or kill you or whatever animals do, because the animal kingdom is a very freaky, scary place. So that was a feel-good tip of the day. Now we're going to give up some shout-outs to all the peoples listening. So we got Muhammad Muridi listening to us from our very own Royal Holloway University. He's doing some work and he thought, you know what? I need some music to chill to and I want to have a laugh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune into Waqattack every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. And we also have Abdi Rahman, who is from Ealing, but he's also listened to us from Raw Hallway, and everybody listens to it at Raw Hallway. Shout out to you guys. You guys are swag. And everyone driving, I hope you guys have a fabulous Thursday afternoon, rest of the week, and the weekend. I will catch you on the flip-flop next week, the same time, Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. to brighten up your day with some more parody comedy stuff. And I'm going to end the show with a fabulous Spanish dance track by Don Omar and Lucenzo. This is Danza Kuduro. So get up and dance, y'all. Have a great day. This is Danza Kuduro. Bye-bye.